Must-know math patterns that save you minutes per question. If you're aiming for a high quant score on the GMAT Focus Edition, mastering content isn't enough. The real game changer? Recognizing patterns. Certain math patterns show up over and over, and knowing them can help you solve questions in seconds, not minutes. Let's start with one of the most important patterns, perfect squares and their properties. For example, you should instantly recognize that 121 is 11 squared, 169 is 13 squared, and 625 is 25 squared. Many GMAT questions involve disguised squares, especially in number properties or algebra simplification. If you can spot that shortcut, you avoid unnecessary calculations. Here's another one, divisibility rules. The GMAT loves to test whether a number is divisible by 3, 4, 5, or 9 without using a calculator. For example, if the sum of digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number itself is divisible by 3. If the last two digits form a number divisible by 4, then the whole number is divisible by 4. These rules seem basic, but under pressure, they save serious time. Next up, common quadratic factor patterns. If you see a square minus b square, recognize it as a plus b. And if you see a perfect square trinomial like x squared plus 6x plus 9, you should know it's x plus 3 square. These identities pop up in DS and PS questions all the time, and if you try to FOIL or expand manually every time, you'll burn time unnecessarily. Now let's talk about percent changes and ratios. Instead of memorizing formulas, think in patterns. For example, if a value increases by 20% and then decreases by 20%, is it back to the original? No, it's actually lower. This is a classic GMAT trap. The pattern to remember, successive percent changes aren't additive. That single insight saves you from falling into multiple choice bait. Another one, work and rate problems. Instead of struggling through A can do a job in 6 hours, B in 4, memorize the pattern, work equals rate times time. But more importantly, think in fractions. If A takes 6 hours, their rate is 1/6 of the job per hour. Add the rates when they work together. This approach works better than using arbitrary equations, it's faster, and it's more intuitive under pressure. Don't ignore powers of 2 and 5. The GMAT loves asking how many zeros are at the end of a factorial or large number. You don't need to calculate the whole number, you just count the number of 5s in the prime factorization. Knowing that 5 times 2 is equal to 10 helps you answer in seconds, not minutes. One more, modular arithmetic. If you ever see a remainder question like what's the remainder when n is divided by 6, train yourself to think in small values and test patterns. 7 divided by 6 leaves remainder 1, 13 divided by 6 leaves 1 again, and so on. Don't brute force. Recognize the repeating cycles and solve smart. When I was prepping for my GMAT, these patterns were what separated the 700+ scorers from the rest. You don't need to solve faster. You need to recognize faster. And that comes from knowing which shortcuts actually show up and drilling them into muscle memory. You will get all this and more in my ebook, Winner's Guide to GMAT Math, and you can get it at my-gmat.com. On test day, you won't win by being a calculator. You'll win by being a pattern recognizer. And once these are second nature, the GMAT becomes way more manageable and way less stressful. Let's train smarter. Let's go.